All right guys, so another day and another pair of truly wireless earbuds. Today's pair that we're gonna look at is slightly unique, and the ones we're checking out are the Aukey T10. Now first off, I do want to point out that I don't know if it's Aukey or Aukey. I'm not really sure. But this is the pair we're gonna check out, and I do want to start off with the fact that it is pretty unique because of the case. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and kind of check out some of the features. It does have Bluetooth 5.0, so as far as latency, at least with Android devices, I didn't have any issues at all. It's IPX5 water resistant, so definitely not one you could submerge into water, but if you're out running and it rains or gets splashed on, these will be okay. Now the beauty of these is it comes with USB-C. Now I know this sounds like a minor thing, but this pair does retail for $109. And I think once you start getting into that range, I at least think now in 2019, everything should be USB-C. But if you're over $100, that should pretty much be standard. The charging case on here is also Qi wireless capable. So you could just come in and sit this on a wireless charger and it will start to charge. Now the battery life on these, the earbuds themselves, you're gonna get about 7 hours of battery life, but with the case, you actually get an additional 17. So altogether, that is a 24-hour time span, which is good for a whole day. Now also inside of the box, other than the USB-C cable, you get small, medium, and large silicone ear tips and also the ear wings. So these do an incredible job of staying in your ears, which with any true wireless earbud or any earbud, a good seal is extremely important. So if you're gonna be active, the fact that those wing tips are there keeping them in place is just a great feature. Now everything about these have this really nice, sleek, gray matte finish. Everything about it looks minimal. The case itself is what's clean and what's unique. It has this spinning where you just kind of turn the top and it will expose where the earbuds are sitting in. Right in front of the case, you can see the battery indicator light for the case itself, and then on the back is the USB-C input. Now when you pull the earbuds out, it doesn't take long to connect, but once you're connected to your device, from then on when you pull them out, it pretty much connects instantly. But if you do want to use these independently, the only one you're going to be able to do that with is the right one. Now the earbuds themselves actually kind of remind me a lot of Samsung's Galaxy Buds. Again, although these have this very sleek, like matte finish to it, it's all gray, kind of trimmed in chrome. It has Aukey's logo on the outside. Now these are touch responsive. You don't actually have the button you have to push in, and the touch responses work really well. Now the huge plus to this is the touch responses control everything. Your track control, your volume control, your smart assistant, play, pause, answering phone calls, and everything like that. So that in itself is really convenient. But speaking of the phone calls, let's go ahead and check out the mic test here.
All right, guys, so here is a test of the Aukey T10 microphone. I'm talking at a normal volume so you can tell how this would pick up if you were to take a phone call. And I think for taking phone calls, this is definitely passable.
All right, so back to the earbuds and how these things sound. They have a dynamic graphene driver. So it just has one driver that's doing everything, which is pretty common. But the graphene driver that they use in here is doing an amazing job at handling all three frequencies. Now I do want to start with this. The one thing that I wish they would have added into these, especially considering I have a pair of their other wireless earbuds, but these do have the wire that kind of hang behind your neck. That model was high-res audio capable. It uses Qualcomm aptX, and you can find these online for like $85 to $90. So I'll put a link to those below, but also a link to these as well. I really wish they would have added high-res audio and made these Qualcomm aptX as well. They're not, so they just use like standard Bluetooth. But again, what they're doing with standard Bluetooth, don't get me wrong, is really impressive. This is an extremely dynamic sound, definitely not flat. But when I say dynamic, it's not dynamic in a way where one thing is overpowering the next. The bass is definitely prominent. Now, again, it's really important that you get an ear tip that's the right one for you, because the one that was on it did work fine. But when I switched to the larger ear tip size, I noticed that it had a better seal and it gave me better bass impact, because the bass is extremely strong in these. Now when I say strong, it means you can feel the impact, but it is extremely like quick. It doesn't have that, you know, hitting you and just still feeling it while the music's still going on. It hits you then, and then it goes on and moves to the next thing. Now the mids are also pushed forward as well. So vocals, especially female vocals, stand out. They're really clear. That's important because guitar riffs also kind of fit into the mids. So if you don't have good mids, but you have really good bass, sometimes you just lose everything. So it's really important to have that balance, or at least that ability to have separation. Treble is really bright, and I mean bright to the point where it's almost too bright. And it's just like they found that line of like, okay, this would be too much if we go above this line. So let's just stay right below it. And it is a really good balance. Now, it's definitely not a balance that somebody looking for a flat sound signature would be happy with, because everything is just up front and in your face. Now, the one thing that I will say that kind of affects is the sound imaging. So where you would normally be able to just have somewhat of an open sound and be able to tell what's coming from this side or what's coming from there, when you have dynamic and things pushed in your face, it feels a little bit closer because it feels like you're more in front of a speaker instead of having that distance between you and the artist or the band or instruments. So it does affect sound imaging. Don't expect a very wide sound, but it is extremely clean. So Aukey is one of those companies I'm just not too familiar with, other than the fact that I have now tried 2 from them, and I really like what they're doing. I like their unique look. But the Aukey T10, I was hesitant about because it goes over that $100 threshold, and it's from a company that I'm just not too familiar with. But I have to say, I'm really impressed. But as far as things I would have liked to have seen, I would have liked to have seen the aptX, at least the ability to make these high-res audio capable. And I honestly would like to see them be completely waterproof. That's not a main thing, but it's just something that I like because it's in a lot of the other earbuds. But at the same time, that could be a trade-off and affect the sound quality of the microphone. So to some people, the microphone is way more important than these being waterproof. I think the fact that they're unique and offering dynamic sound and a really good battery, a really good fit, and just an overall good product, especially with these being Qi wireless charger, it makes it a little bit easier to recommend these, even though they're kind of crossing that $100 line. So I think they did an incredible job. If you guys are interested, there will be a link below. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, guys, make sure to stay tuned for more.